Hello, everyone. We're back here in Astroneer. Some people were asking me in the comments section of my nanocarbon factory how the scrap production aspect worked. So I thought I would make a video here explaining how the process works. The concept for this build was taken from another YouTuber called Johnny Zerg. Feel free to check out his video if you can. I modified it a little bit to work with my nanocarbon factory, so you can see the differences if you check out both videos. Just want to give credit where it's due. So this is it. This is the little scrap factory. It basically turns soil into scrap. We're going to start out with our two shredders. They're both extra larges on extra large platform C's. One of the most important things of this factory is that you plug off all the holes that you're not using. So how this is going to work, these two small printers are the main focus of this factory, and getting them the resources they need is what all of this other stuff is for. So starting with our shredders, these small printers will be printing storage sensors, which are picked up by these auto arms. One is off and one is on. They start in these positions because of this storage sensor here, which is set to full or empty. What this does is when this silo fills up, it turns this arm off and turns this arm on so it can start pulling scrap out of the loop until this no longer has scrap left on it. When this hits empty, this one turns back on so it starts feeding the loop again, and this one turns off so we're not pulling extra scrap out of the loop. Now, how we get the printers the resources they need to make the storage sensors is another story. The first thing we're going to talk about is the quartz, because it's easiest to set up. So it's just any kind of silo with medium soil canisters. You want to make sure that your soil centrifuges are set to quartz and that they are not set to auto repeat. So what this is going to do is it's going to regulate how much quartz is produced. You block up again everything on the table except for where you want the resources to go. So they're going to go to this medium storage silo, and once they're fully pulled off by this arm and used, this storage sensor starts these two again, so it produces 8 more quartz. That feeds the quartz section of the storage sensors. Now for the zinc portion. This is a little bit more involved. So scrap comes from here during the primary loop function. So until this arm gets cut off and we start pulling extra scrap, you need to prime this machine at least with 4 scrap here and maybe 4 scrap here before you turn it on, just to get the loop going. I had this test running, so it has a little bit of extra scrap in the loop. We're going to set this trade platform off with, let me start with the basics. So this storage silo gets scrap put onto it by this shredder. The arms take it off, put it on this platform. These two arms take it off of that platform, put it onto the trade platform. Once the trade platform is full, it waits for this counter. You can make this with any medium resource canister and 32 of any resource. Basically, you start the output on this resource canister, and it empties all of its contents onto these storage silos. Once it hits empty, it turns its output back off, and it starts sucking up all the resources again. So basically about every 35 seconds or so, it's going to try to send off this trade platform, which is fine. That's what you want. You want this trade platform to send off. And if it's in a position where it can't be sent off, it won't actually get sent off. It'll wait for the next clock. So Now, once the trade platform is sent off and comes back, you have these auto arms pulling the raw sphalerite and putting it onto this storage silo here. And then you have a whole table full of auto arms here pulling these are just these RTGs. It doesn't require this much power. I've just used them to block off spaces because I have a nanocarbon factory. What else am I going to use it for? So these auto arms also pull sphalerite off and put them onto the smelting furnaces. Because all of the smelting furnaces are blocking off areas on this table along with this RTG. When everything is pulled off of here to the smelters, then zinc is put back on. Zinc is pulled off by this arm and put onto the table for the printers. The printers use zinc and quartz to make the storage sensors, which fills the loop. So we're going to watch this in practice. We need to start this timer. Once this empties, it will send off the trade platform. When the trade platform gets back, it'll fill up again with scrap because of these two auto arms. And then the next time this is either full or empty, it will send off the trade platform again. So, maybe I should have started this ahead of time, but we'll see. Alright, there goes our trade platform. It's going to be coming back with 8 pieces of sphalerite. Those will get smelted into zinc, and then the zinc will get pulled off to make storage sensors. Really, there's not much else to do until this gets back. We can talk about, the storage sensors on here. This one is set to full or empty. The one on the quartz is set to empty or not empty, so that it only triggers when this is empty. And by the time it fills up again, it's not quick enough to trigger these again, so it's not a constant loop. Alright, so our trade platform is back. All the sphalerite is getting moved either to this or over here. So, see, our trade platform got sent off again already. So that's going to come back with 8 more sphalerite. We might only get 6 on this next one. Maybe not. It's making steady storage sensors now. So we're smelting 3 zinc at a time. That's going onto this rack. This arm's pulling it off and putting it onto the printer table. The printer table's printing the storage sensors. And the arms are picking up the storage sensors and putting them into each room. So, see here we still have scrap producing in the loop. The way the math works out is that the storage sensors produce more scrap than it takes scrap to make, and that then you're basically converting soil into quartz and then quartz into scrap. So everything else remains constant. Oh, it's already been sent off again. So the loop is functioning very well. We already have scrap in reserve for when this gets back. We still have sphalerite being smelted, so we're not running out of that. The printers are still printing. We might be running a little bit low on quartz, but as soon as we pull the last quartz off of here, the soil centrifuges kick on and start producing more quartz, like it's tapping there. The only thing you really have to change out on this build, if you keep it going as long as you want, you just have to make sure that there are full soil canisters over here. So once these soil canisters start running out, we'll put extras on, swap them out for empty ones, and that'll keep our loop going. Eventually it will run out of soil if you leave it unattended. It's just something you have to, when it runs out of soil, it stops producing quartz. If it doesn't produce quartz, it doesn't produce storage sensors. But the good thing about that is that it's basically going to run it down to where you're full of zinc. So as soon as you get more soil put onto the soil centrifuge table, it will start producing again. So we're already seeing here, even though we only started out with scrap here, 4 on the table, 2 on here, and then 4 on the trade platform, we're already getting scrap that's backing up onto the arm here. So you can see that the scrap is getting produced faster than we can send it on, which is a good thing. That's what we want. Trade platform's already sent off again, which means we've sent off 4 more scrap, and we still have a ton of scrap on the silo here. Now this silo is eventually going to fill up, and when it fills up, it's going to turn this arm on and turn this arm off. That's going to start producing the, let's say, next or extra scrap. So what I'll do here is I'll let the machine run for a little bit, and then we'll cut to when this silo is going to fill up. See you in a bit. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, the silo is starting to get pretty close to full here. We're going to watch as the silo fills up and transitions from one shredder to the other, pulling the excess scrap out of the loop. Everything's still going. The soil centrifuges are still making quartz. For some reason with this configuration, only 2 of the smelters get used, but that's fine. But there's a way to fix that. Have to now we're making 3 zinc at a time. Alright. Trade platform still getting sent off. Zinc's getting made. Storage sensors are getting shredded. Looks like we have 2 quartz left before it switches over to the auxiliary. Should be switching here and now. So this arm got turned off. Now every sensor, because the scrap is still in the loop, every sensor that gets made is being put into the other shredder now, and all the scrap produced from that is just going and being collected. And it will switch back over to keep this loop going once this silo is empty. So 4 scrap at a time will be pulled off of this, and until then you're just going to be collecting extra scrap in whatever collection device you have over here. See, we've already got 2 extra scrap out of nowhere. Spoils of war. It's a lot of setup, but once you get it running, all you have to do is collect soil, and you can make as much scrap as you want to use to trade for other items. You know, whether it's you don't want to leave your world or whatnot. This can basically be set up on any planet, so you know, planets like Glacio with long flat areas where you can use a rover to collect soil, you know, make it really easy to get trade resources that aren't necessarily native to that planet, and that's where this this system really kind of shines. So all of this is still going on. It's still happening, and it's doing the same thing. The only difference is we're pulling it into another shredder until this hits empty. Once this hits empty, there will still be scrap in the loop, so it'll just start filling up again. Once it fills up, it switches back over again, rinse and repeat until you run out of soil for quartz. That's basically how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to do my best to answer them. I'm a truck driver, so it's hard for me to, you know, put out everyday content, but whenever I get a chance, I don't mind messing around. I'd like to do a video about setting up automation on medium generators that you find while you're out and exploring, because there are a ton of medium generators in Astroneer that are just you're basically collecting them all throughout the early and mid game, and then you have nothing to do with them into the later game. But I was thinking about setting up an automated way to take care of them, powering your base with soil. So with the soil centrifuge, it's basically cheat mode. So we'll see if we can't get a video out on that. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Until next time, we'll see you later.